The story begins inside a massive military training compound in North Carolina, where a group of Marine and Army exchange personnel gather for an advanced close-quarters combat program. Among them stands Lieutenant Rebecca Hale, known across her battalion for her calm discipline, sharp instincts, and unmatched understanding of combat psychology. Yet despite her proven record, whispers circulate as soon as she steps into the hall. Some of the men smirk, nudging each other. At the center of the group is Master Sergeant Colt Maddox, a decorated fighter with a reputation for raw strength and an even harsher tongue. He glances at Rebecca, scoffs, and mutters loudly enough for half the room to hear, "Pretty face, no grit." The words echo through the room. A few soldiers laugh under their breath. Rebecca hears it, but she doesn't respond. She simply stands tall, her expression neutral. She's used to the underestimation, but today's comment carries a different weight because this training decides who will qualify for next-tier combat instruction. The instructors call the group to attention, explaining that today's session focuses entirely on grappling, pressure point control, and forced submission drills. Every participant must go through multiple rounds, and no one gets an easy pass. Colt keeps staring at Rebecca with a mix of arrogance and challenge. Many of the soldiers assume they'll never be paired, but fate has its own sense of timing. After an hour of warm-ups and drills, the coach blows the whistle and begins assigning sparring partners. When he calls out, "Maddox and Hale," the entire room goes silent. Rebecca steps forward first, calm and collected. Colt smirks and cracks his knuckles, loudly announcing, "Don't worry, I'll go easy on her." A few soldiers chuckle again, expecting a quick match. Both fighters step into the padded circle. Rebecca lowers her stance slightly, studying Colt's posture, his breathing, the way his muscles tense with overconfidence. Colt bursts forward aggressively, trying to grab her shoulders and force her down, but Rebecca slides aside effortlessly, redirecting his weight with a smooth pivot. The move surprises him, but he covers it with a laugh. "Lucky move," he says. The soldiers around them exchange raised eyebrows. Rebecca doesn't respond. She simply resets her stance. Colt attacks again, this time attempting a leg sweep. Rebecca anticipates it, counters by hooking his arm, and drops her weight, sending him off balance. He stumbles forward. She could bring him down completely, but she lets him recover. That decision irritates him even more. His ego takes over. He lunges with full force, attempting to overpower her with sheer strength. Rebecca quickly shifts sideways, grabs his wrist, twists her hips, and flips him onto the mat in a clean, practiced throw. The thud echoes across the training hall. For the first time, Colt's smirk disappears. The instructor tells them to continue. Colt gets to his feet, more enraged than focused now. He charges again, aiming to pin her. Rebecca ducks, traps his arm, and uses a joint lock technique to neutralize his movement. Colt struggles, trying to break free, but her grip tightens like steel. Her years of disciplined training guide every motion. She swiftly transitions into a choke control maneuver, securing it without injuring him. Colt's face flushes red. He uses every ounce of strength to push back, but she maintains perfect leverage and control. The room grows silent except for the sound of Colt's strained breathing. Rebecca tightens the hold just enough to force a decision. Colt tries to resist, but the pain builds. His muscles tremble, his boots scrape against the floor. His pride fights longer than his body does. And then, finally, he taps out. The hall erupts not into cheers, not into mockery, but into stunned silence. Soldiers who moments earlier dismissed her now stare in disbelief. Rebecca releases Colt immediately and steps back with professional composure. Colt sits up, breathing heavily, sweat dripping from his forehead, his chest rising and falling rapidly. For a long moment, he doesn't speak. Then, in a rare act of humility, he looks up at Rebecca. "I underestimated you," he says quietly. "Won't happen again." The instructor calls for the next pair, but most soldiers are still replaying the moment in their minds. Rebecca walks off the mat and stands at the edge, waiting for her next turn as if nothing extraordinary just happened. Her calm demeanor only elevates the respect she has earned. Several younger recruits approach her afterward, asking for tips, advice, and guidance. She treats each one with patience and confidence, showing the difference between arrogance and discipline. As the day progresses, word spreads across the compound. Marines and soldiers from other wings pass through the hall, trying to confirm if the rumor is true, that Rebecca Hale made Master Sergeant Colt Maddox tap out. Even officers from higher ranks quietly observe her training rounds, noting her flawless technique and strategic intelligence. Later that afternoon, Colt approaches her again near the hydration station. He hesitates, then speaks with sincerity. "Hale, I've trained with some of the toughest fighters in the country. What you did back there, that took grit. Real grit." Rebecca nods politely, acknowledging the change in his tone. "Everyone has grit," she replies. "Some just don't see it until they're forced to." As the sun begins to set, the training hall prepares for the final assessment round. Each soldier must demonstrate the techniques learned during the day. Rebecca and Colt both perform exceptionally well, but it's Rebecca who draws the instructor's strongest praise. Her controlled movements, precise counters, and mental clarity set a standard many never expected. At the end of the evaluation, her name is announced among the top qualifiers for the next tier of combat specialization. The soldiers applaud, real applause this time, free of mockery or hesitation. Even Colt joins them, nodding in acknowledgement. Rebecca stands quietly, knowing that respect earned through strength and character lasts far longer than respect forced through intimidation. Outside the hall, the evening breeze cools the sweat on her skin as she walks toward the barracks. She passes a group of recruits who stand a little straighter when they see her. She hears one of them whisper, "That's her, the one who made Maddox tap." But Rebecca doesn't react. She's never been motivated by approval or praise. She serves for her duty, her team, and the constant pursuit of excellence. As the day ends, the compound lights dim, and silence replaces the earlier tension. Rebecca sits on her bunk, cleaning her gloves, reflecting on the events. She knows that tomorrow brings new challenges, new tests, new doubters. But she also knows she is ready for every one of them. Because grit isn't measured by appearance, or by the strength someone assumes you lack. It is revealed when the world underestimates you, and you rise anyway. And in that training hall, on that unforgettable day, Lieutenant Rebecca Hale didn't just prove Colt Maddox wrong. She reminded everyone watching that resilience, skill, and true grit know no gender, no stereotype, and no limits.